Next question. Which of the following is a correct statement? IUDs, intrauterine devices, suppress gametogenesis. Option B. IUDs once inserted need not be replaced. IUDs are generally inserted by the user herself. Option D. IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms in the uterus. Which of the following is a correct statement means option D. IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms in the uterus. Next question. Which of the following contraceptive methods do involve a role of hormone? Option A. Lactational amenorrhea, pills, emergency contraceptives. Option B. Barrier method, lactational amenorrhea and pills. Option C. Copper T, pills, emergency contraceptive. Option D. Pills, emergency contraceptives and barrier method. Which of the following contraceptive method do involve a role of hormone means option A. Lactational amenorrhea, pills and emergency contraceptive is the answer. Next one. Select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Option A. Waltz LNG20. Option B. Multi-load 375 progestastat. Option C. Progestastat LNG20. Option D. Lips loop multi-load 375. Which select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Answer is the progestastat LNG20 is the intrauterine hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Progestastat LNG20 is the answer. Option C. Next question number 34. The function of copper ions in copper releasing IUDs is option A. They inhibit gametogenesis. They make uterus unsuitable for implantation. Option C. They inhibit ovulation. Option D. They suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of sperm. The function of the copper ions in copper releasing IUDs is they suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of sperm is the answer. Option D. Next one. The function of copper ions in copper releasing IUDs intrauterine devices is option A. They inhibit gametogenesis. Option B. They make uterus unsuitable for implantation. Option C. They inhibit ovulation. Option D. They suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of sperm. The function of copper ions in copper releasing IUDs is answer option D. They suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperm. Here's question number 35. In context of amniocentesis, which of the following statement is correct? Option A. It is usually done in a woman between 14 to 16 weeks of pregnancy. 14 to 16 weeks of pregnancy. Option B. It is used for prenatal sex determination. Option B. Option C. It can be used for detection of Down syndrome. Option D. It can be used for detection of cleft palate. In the context of amniocentesis, which of the following statement is correct means option D. It can be used for detection of cleft palate is the answer. Next one. Hysterectomy is a surgical removal of Option A, prostate gland. Option B, vas deferens. Option C, mammary gland. Option D, uterus. Hysterectomy is surgical removal of uterus is the answer. Next, question number 37. One of the legal method of birth control is option A, by abstaining from coitus from day 10 to 17 of menstrual cycle. Option B, by having coitus at the time of day break. Option C, by a premature ejaculation during coitus. Option D, abortion by taking an appropriate medicine. One of the legal method of birth control is option D, abortion by taking an appropriate medicine. It is the legal method of birth control. Next one, question number 38. One of the following is not a method of contraception. Which one? Option A, tubectomy. Option B, condoms. Option C, lips loop. Option D, pills of a combination of oxytocin and vasopressin. Pills of a combination of oxytocin and vasopressin is the answer. Next one, the contraceptive Saheli. Option A, which blocks estrogen receptors in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted. Option B, increases the contraception of estrogen and prevents ovulation in females. Option C is a post-coital contraceptive. Option D, it is an IUDs. The contraceptive Saheli is which blocks the estrogen receptor in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted is the answer. Next one, copper T is a device that prevents option A, implantation of blastocyst. Option B, fertilization. Option C, egg maturation. Option D, ovulation. Copper T is a device that prevents answer implantation of blastocyst. Option E is the answer. Next one, question number 41. Which of the following sexually transmitted disease is not completely curable? Option A, gonorrhea. Option B, genital warts. Option C, genital herpes. Option D, chlamydiasis. Which of the following sexually transmitted disease is not completely curable? Answer is the genital herpes. Next one, in assisted reproductive technology, in vitro fertilization involves transfer of option A, ovum into the fallopian tube. Option B, zygote into the fallopian tube. Option C, zygote into the uterus. Option D, embryo with 16 cell blastomeres into the fallopian tube. Assisted reproductive technology, in vitro fertilization involves transfer of answer option B, zygote into the fallopian tube. Zygote into the fallopian tube. Next one, the test tube baby program employs which one of the following techniques? Option A, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Option B, intrauterine insemination. Option C, gamete intrafallopian transfer. Option D, zygote intrafallopian transfer. The test tube baby program employs which one of the following technique? Answer option D, zygote intrafallopian transfer. Next one, the permissible use of technique amniocentesis is used for detecting sex of the unborn fetus. Option B, artificial insemination. Option C, transfer of embryo into the uterus of a surrogate mother. Option D, detecting any genetic abnormality. The permissible use of the technique amniocentesis is for detecting any genetic abnormality is the answer. Next one, fetal sex can be determined by examining cell from the amniotic fluid by looking for option A, chiasmata, option B, kinetochore, option C, bar bodies, option D, autosomes. Fetal sex can be determined by examining cells from the amniotic fluid by looking for bar bodies is the answer. Next question number 45. A female child at birth possesses how many follicles are there? Option A, 80,000 follicles in the ovaries. Option B, 40,000 follicles in the ovaries. Option C, 20,000 follicles in the ovaries. Option D, 10,000 follicles in the ovaries. A female child at birth possesses 80,000 follicles in the ovary. Next one, non-motile sperm in semen is called as non-motile sperm in semen is called as option A, azoospermia, option B, necrospermia, option C, polyspermia, option D, none of these. Answer is the necrospermia is the non-motile sperm. Next one, question number 47. An adult male produces option A, 200 million sperms per day, option B, 400 million sperm per day, option C, 100 million sperm per day, option D, 500 million sperm per day. An adult male produces 200 million sperms per day is the answer. A single ejaculation has option A, 200 to 300 million sperms, option B, 100 to 200 million sperms, option C, 200 to 500 million sperms, option D, 200 to 600 million sperms. A single ejaculation produces in male 200 to 300 million sperms are produced. Next one, let down reflex due to oxytocin, estrogen, adrenaline, progesterone. Let down reflex due to oxytocin is the answer. Next one, after 72 hours of fertilization, zygote turns into option option A, morula, option B, gastrula, option C, cleavage, option D, none of this. Answer is the morula. Next one, the androgen binding protein is produced by option A, Leydig cells, Sertoli cells, option B, pituitary gland, option D, hypothalamus. The androgen binding protein is produced by Sertoli cell is the answer. Tubectomy is a method of sterilization in which a small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up. Option B, ovaries are removed surgically. Option C, small part of vas deferens is removed or tied up. Option D, uterus is removed surgically. To Tubectomy is a method of sterilization in which option A, small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up is the answer. Which one of the following is the most widely accepted method of contraception in India at present? Option A, cervical caps. Option B, tubectomy. Option C, diaphragm. Option D, intrauterine devices. In India, widely accepted method of contraception is C. Option D, intrauterine devices. Next one, what is the work of copper T? To inhibit ovulation, to inhibit fertilization, to inhibit gametogenesis, none of this. Answer, what is the work of copper T? Which is used to inhibit fertilization is the answer. Next one, tablets to prevent male contraception contain option A, progesterone, option B, luteinizing hormone, option C, follicular stimulating hormone, option D, both B and C. Tablet to prevent male contraception contains option B, LH and option C, FSH. Answer is the option D, both B and C. Next one, the most important component of the oral contraceptive pills is option A, thyroxine, option B, luteinizing hormone, option C, progesterone, option D, growth hormone. The most important component of the oral contraceptive pills is option C, progesterone. Next one of the legal method of birth control is option A, by having coitus at the time of daybreak. Option B, by a premature ejaculation during coitus. Option C, abortion by taking an appropriate medicine. Option D, by abstaining from coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual period. One of the legal method of birth control is answer option C, abortion by taking an appropriate medicine is the answer. In case of a couple where the male is having a very low sperm count, which technique will be suitable for fertilization? Option A, gamete intrafallopian tube. Option B, artificial insemination. Option C, intrauterine transfer. Option D, none of this. In case of a couple where the male is having a very low sperm count, means answer artificial insemination is the technique followed. Next one, the stage transferred into the uterus after induced fertilization of ovum in the laboratory is option A, embryo at 4-celled blastomere stage. Option B, embryo at 2-celled blastomere stage. Option C, morula. Option D, zygote. The stage transferred into the uterus after induced fertilization of ovum in the laboratory is morula stage. Option C. Next one, the test tube baby program employs which one of the following technique? Option A, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Option B, intrauterine transfer. Option C, gamete intrafallopian tube transfer. Option D, zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. The test tube baby program employs in zygote intrafallopian tube transfer is the answer. Option D. Next question, in vitro fertilization a technique that involves transfer of which one of the following into the fallopian tube? Option A, embryo only up to 8 cell stage. Option B, either zygote or early embryo up to 8 cell stage. Option C, embryo of 32 cell stage. Option D, zygote only. In vitro fertilization is a technique that involves transfer of the embryo only up to 8 cell stage is the answer. That means transfer of embryo only up to 8 to cell stage into the fallopian tube in in vitro fertilization technique.